Today I'm going to share with you exactly how much money I made as a YouTuber and a lawyer in 2022. And I'll be honest, this is a little scary. Ready? Let's do this. All right, if you're out there and you're thinking, I really want to start an online business, but I'm not sure where to start, and I would really like to know what the potential is to earn in terms of revenue for an online business, then this is the video for you. When I first started my online business, and this was like 10 or 12 years ago when I first got into this online business space, I looked to other people that were already successful and looked to see what they were doing. And I looked to see how much money they were making. And there were people that were trailblazers in this space like John Lee Dumas and Pat Flynn, who used to post, and I think John Lee Dumas actually still does post, their monthly income numbers. And that is so scary to a lot of people. And I'll be honest, it's scary to me too. I hate doing these videos. I would do more of them if I actually wasn't so scared of doing them. But I think it's really important, especially for those of you that are out there that are just getting started and you want to know what is really the deal with YouTube? Is it possible to make a living with YouTube? There's a lot of components, and if you're out there thinking, I really just want to get started with my business, whether it be a law firm or an online business or e-commerce or whatever you're doing, and you want some inspiration, then that's really what I'm hoping to give you with this video. And part of the reason for that is because I've noticed that a lot of people just give up way too soon. They give up before they even really start. And in some cases, they give up right before they're about to strike gold with their business, and they go back to that corporate job they have, or maybe some other business that they're running or working for somebody else. And they never really get to experience the true freedom that comes with entrepreneurship. So today what I kind of want to do is I want to share with you a couple things. Number one, I want to share with you who I am, what I do. I want to share with you kind of how I make money. And then I want to share with you the exact numbers that I earned in 2022. So let's start with who I am and what I do. My name is Jim Hart. I am a trademark lawyer. I am a YouTuber. I'm an entrepreneur. I run two separate businesses, my law firm as well as a digital media company. The way I make money, well, there's a number of different ways, and I actually made a list, so I'm just gonna go right off the phone here. So let's start with the non-legal ways that I make money. The biggest way I make money from this YouTube channel is through Adsense Revenue. I also make money through affiliate partnerships with certain brands. I have a course and membership called the Online Business Foundations Mastermind that I make money from, and I've got a couple other little online courses that I sell along with that, namely the Lock It Down Legal Toolkit, the Lock It Down Startup Toolkit, and I'm in the process of building one called the Lock It Down Trademark Toolkit. I make money from a number of different places there in terms of online courses and memberships. I also run an online template store called One Stop Legal, and those are all the non-legalish type of businesses that I run, and that's all under the scope of my Hart Digital Media LLC. And then I also have a law firm, which is called the Hart Law Firm. It's a North Carolina-based virtual law firm that I run that also generates income for me. Now, in terms of the law firm in particular, in case some of you are wondering, all of what I do is transactional. I do not sue people in court. I stopped doing that many years ago. Well, not really that long ago. It was like 2021 was when I took my last client that I actually went to court for, and I shut down my brick and mortar based local court-based law firm at the end of 2021. Currently I work with US based clients all over the country, as well as some international clients as well, to help them protect their brands through US federally registered trademarks. I also help people set up LLCs, and I do some contracts on a very limited basis. But those are the three main areas that I focus on now with my law firm. I do work a traditional day. I work from about 8 a.m. in the morning until around 5 p.m. at night. One day a week, I do take client calls up till 10 o'clock at night, and that's because I'm based here in Portugal. And to help my US-based clients, especially those that are on the West Coast, I want to give them some call times that they can still reach me, even if it's late in the night for me. Going with the Portuguese cup today. I do take off lunch for about 1 to 2 hours a day, which is pretty typical here in Portugal. And so I probably work about a 40-hour week, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more in some weeks, but that's typically what I do between my law firm and my digital media company. However, we also do take a lot of time off to travel. That's one of the perks of living here in Europe, is that we can travel around. We've been to Rome, we've been to Madrid, we've been to various places in Portugal, we went to London a couple weeks ago. So we do travel around quite a bit. About once a month, we'll take a long weekend to go someplace, and then when the kids are off school for a more extended period, we will take a trip. Like I said, we went to London for about 5 days, and we're planning a trip to Italy in the fall for a more extended period of time. And then we're also going back to the United States for about a month in July. So we do travel a bit, but my law firm is set up so that as long as I have my laptop and an internet connection, I can continue to work regardless. I charge flat fees primarily. I do have a couple of hourly clients, but for the most part, everything I do is on a flat fee basis. My fees range from about $1,000 to $6,000. I'm totally transparent about this, and you can find details about everything that I do and everything that I charge on my website at hawthornelaw.net. All right, so that's the boring stuff that a lot of you probably skipped directly over to get to the meat and potatoes of this video, which is how do I actually make money? And so I want to start with the non-legal side, and there's a reason why I want to do that. The non-legal part of my business, and that is the digital media company part of my business, was my primary earning revenue generator in 2022. And there were a number of reasons for that, which I'm going to get into here in a few minutes. But the biggest source of my revenue for 2022 from the non-legal sources was my YouTube AdSense revenue. I earned $50,381, or about $4,200 a month in AdSense revenue in 2022. It started off, the year started off slow. It gradually started to grow as I produced more videos. I did have a period in time in the middle of the year when we were moving to Portugal where I didn't publish a video for maybe a month or two. And so that probably hurt my numbers a little bit, but after I started posting again once we got settled here in Lisbon, my AdSense revenue really started to grow. And now at this point, I'm earning between about $5,000 and $6,000 per month as of right now, 2023, from AdSense revenue. But for last year, I made $50,381. And in case you're wondering, I did that off 1.4 million views during the year and $104,000 hours of watch time, which is pretty amazing to think that people have watched me for over 100,000 hours in 2022. That's crazy. But anyway, okay, so that was my number one source of revenue from the non-legal side of my business. The second largest source of revenue for me was my courses and memberships. And as I mentioned, I do have a monthly membership. It's called the OB Foundation's Mastermind. And I also have several courses that are tied to that membership that I do sell as one-off courses. And so my total revenue from courses and memberships for 2022 was $34,131. All right, my next major source of revenue is affiliate revenue. I have multiple affiliates that I earn money from, and my main driver of income comes from ShareASale. With ShareASale, my affiliate revenue for 2022 was $24,460, which averages out to about $2,000 per month. And I'm not including this in this number, but I did earn some money from another affiliate. However, because of, if you watched my video from a couple weeks ago where I talked about how I broke out my business into two separate legal entities in 2022, the numbers I have for this affiliate, their reporting isn't very good, and the numbers that I have from them is also not very good, but I know I probably made several $1,000s at least off that affiliate, but I'm not including that in these numbers. In terms of my legal template store, One Stop Legal, I made about $9,000 in 2022, which isn't great, and it doesn't seem like a whole lot of money, but I will tell you that is one thing that I'm really trying to focus on driving more traffic and more sales from in 2023 and going in forward into 2024. I think that The legal template store really has a lot of potential, and so that's something I'm really trying to build out. So that brings the total revenue from my non-legal sources to $118,000. Well, actually, if you want to be specific, it was $118,002 was the total revenue from all of those sources from 2022, which brings us to the law firm. And by the way, before I get to the law firm, I do want to mention that all of these numbers I talk about, these are gross numbers. These are gross revenue numbers. So if you're in business, you understand that when you bring in revenue, you also have expenses you have to pay. And so I'm not talking about all my expenses. This is not how much money I actually earned. This is the revenue my business has generated. And so the money that I actually earned and took home, after you pay expenses and taxes and all those type of things, was actually less than that. The law firm, before I say the number for the law firm, I want to mention that 2022 was a really weird year for my law firm. It was an anomaly, I would say. Historically, this was one of the worst years that I've had for my law firm since I actually started my law firm way back in 2005 was the first year I had my law firm. So this was a really bad year earnings-wise for the law firm. And the reason for that, there were a couple reasons. Number one was because I spent the first 3 months of the year really winding down the brick and mortar law firm that I had in Cary, North Carolina. I wasn't taking on any new clients at that time. I was really just focused on offloading all my existing clients. So shutting down their files, closing out their cases, getting everything resolved that needed to be resolved, sending documents back to clients, disposing of client files, doing things like that. None of which I could earn money from doing. And I can't charge clients for that type of work. So the first part of 2022 was really focused on that. The second quarter of 2022, we really focused on getting our family ready to move to Portugal. So there were a lot of play dates to get the kids, saying goodbye to their friends. There was a lot of selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace to get rid of things. There was a lot of packing. There was a lot of all that kind of stuff. Again, I was not very focused on the law firm at all, so I wasn't really generating any revenue for the law firm during the second quarter. As we got into the third quarter, so July and August, July was spent primarily, we had left our house in North Carolina, we were moving, going to visit family, I should mention, across in Ohio and in different areas. We did some trips to Washington, D.C. and New York to see things before we left the United States. And so July was really spent, kind of wrapping things up in the United States. And then August was our first full month in Lisbon, and that was just, 2 weeks we didn't have hot water. We were getting utilities turned on. We were getting furniture. We were doing different things because we literally walked into our apartment here with nothing but the 12 bags that we had brought with us on the plane. That was basically it. And so August was a month where I was doing a lot of work from coffee shops. I was blogging, I was doing different things, but wasn't really focused on the law firm. It wasn't until the end of August, beginning of September, that I really started to focus again on the law firm and start working on client generating activities. And that was when things really started to turn around and I started to earn some income from the law firm. And so my total revenue for 2022 for the law firm was $102,000. And as I mentioned, that was probably the lowest revenue generating year I've ever had for the law firm. And most of that revenue was generated during September and October. November and December, I did generate a little bit of revenue, but usually those months are very slow with the law firm in terms of the work that I do. So most of that revenue was generated in September and October. I think it's important to understand here what my takeaway from this was, number one, that was an anomaly. Number two, I have huge goals for where I want the law firm to be in 2023. And number three, I would say, was the benefit of having an online business. So if I didn't have that online business that generated $118,000 last year, it would have made it very difficult for us to move to Portugal, because I would have had to, with shutting everything down with the law firm, we basically would have been living off of savings. But instead, I was able to live off of the recurring monthly revenue that I was receiving from, like I said, AdSense, our affiliate sales, the memberships and course sales that I have with my business. And so that really allowed us the freedom to actually move to Portugal. And I think that's a really important takeaway from all this. But now that we're settled and we're here in Portugal, you know, the pedal to the metal with the law firm, my foot is on the gas. We're really pushing things forward. And I'm excited about where 2023 is going to be, or where it's going to hopefully end up for me. So total revenue for last year, again, this is revenue. This does not count expenses. This does not count taxes, anything like that, was $220,000 for 2022. And that was a down year. So I'm hopeful that this video, if nothing else, gives you that inspiration, that motivation to go out there and really start working on your online business and finding ways that you can also generate some revenue that will come to you in passive form so that you can live the life of your dreams. Have a great day, folks, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.